Hey, welcome to the attic. Got a hopefully a little more professional box opening video here. We're going to open these Kamigawa Commander decks and see what Wizards did with the big screw up with this one. This one is called Upgrades Unleashed. That's the one that's got the enormous error in it. And we've also got Buckle Up, which is like the third white-blue Commander deck in like 4 releases or something. They really want to push those colors, I guess, in Commander right now. And also got the Extra Life Secret Lair drop. We'll open that up and see what the bonus card is. So yeah, let's just get cracking here. Usual thing, got these little punch out counters, I guess. That one's on top. Separator, you know, for separating your commander sideboard. Tokens, I guess. All right, let's see. Maybe they fixed it by the time I ordered. What are the chances? We're going to get double Mossfire Valley, or are we going to get a Nissa Planeswalker? Shishiro, if you don't know, is a modified guy. Whenever an aura or equipment enters the battlefield, you make a 2/2 spirit token with Menace, and you put a +1/+1 counter on each modified creature on your end step. So, easiest way to build is with +1 counters. Backup commander is Kaima the Fractured Calm. At the beginning of your end step, goad each creature your opponents control that's enchanted by an aura you control. And put a +1/+1 counter on Kaima for each creature goaded this way. So that can be kind of fun. I found goad is actually decently fun in Commander. I think that's why they keep doing stuff with goad. Anyways, won't go through all the cards here, just the ones that are new for this Commander deck. And we'll also see is there Grumgully. Another great backup commander for the deck, Grumgully. Rhythm of the Wild has some value. Arcane Signet, they have to put that in everything now. Fire Shrieker's nice. Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, Command Tower, Gruul Turf, Opal Palace. Oh my goodness, how many mountains? 3 mountains, okay. Phew. Alright, so we got this Aki Battle Squad, 6/6 Goblin Samurai. Whenever one or more modified creatures you control attack, untap all modified creatures, and you get an additional combat phase. It triggers only once per turn. But that's still pretty cool. That's useful in other decks where you're just equipping up commanders. Collision of Realms. It's like a big red spell here. Each player shuffles all creatures they own into their library. Each player who shuffled a non-token creature into the library this way reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of their library in any order. Kami of Celebration. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn. Komainu Battle Armor. Lots of stuff for a 2/2 Menace Dog that does some goading. Smoke Spirit's Aid. For each of up to X target creatures, create a red R enchantment token named Smoke Blessing attached to that creature. These tokens have enchant creature, and when enchanted creature dies, it deals 1 damage to its controller, and you create a treasure token. So you can either use that to modify all your stuff or get some extra bonus points from your opponent's creatures dying, I guess. Unquenchable Fury. Whenever this creature attacks, it deals X damage to defending player, where X is the number of cards in their hand. And then it just keeps coming back, so that's kind of cool. It's like a Gift of Immortality ability. Ascendant Acolyte. There's the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each +1/+1 counter among other creatures you control. And then it doubles every turn. Love the doubling. That's always fun. Concord with the Kami. At the beginning of your end step, choose one or more. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature with a counter on it. Draw a card if you control an enchanted creature, or create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token if you control an equipped creature. That's cool. So if you have decks that have enchanted creatures, I might just put that straight into my Aura's deck. It's a good little draw spell for that. Pal, off camera. Kosei, Penitent Warlord. As long as it's enchanted, equipped, or has a counter on it, it has whenever it deals combat damage, you draw that many cards, and it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Oh, that's cool. That's a fun build round, too. One with the Kami. Flash, enchant creature you control. When it dies... All right, this is the one that can go infinite. Create X 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens where X is that creature's power. Don't remember, but somebody figured out, I think, a way for that to go infinite. Get like a sack outlet that brings it back with the creature on it or something. Plant Hydra, Rampant Rejuvenator, enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and then when it dies, it searches your library for X basic lands, where that's its power. Not really a great ramp spell, because, like, you know, it has to die first. Silk Guard, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures you control. R's equipment and modified creatures you control gain hexproof. That can be a nice little, I don't know, budget save your board in the right kind of deck. Tanuki Transplanter, artifact creature equipment dog. It's got a reconfigure of 3. And when it or the equipped creature attacks, you add an amount of green equal to its power. And that mana doesn't go away until your end of turn. Agitator Ant that goads. Is this different? Isn't there another ant that goads? Chain reaction. X damage to each creature where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. Yeah, these are ones we've seen before. Chaos Warp, Elemental Mastery. Goblin Raise Runners. Not really sure what that one does, but 3/4, 2 mana to sacrifice a land and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then you can have it deal damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it on your end step. Okay. Krenko's a nice one. And Oxyvagonus. Shifting Shadow. I mean, there is some value in here, even if they did screw up the printing. Torian Mauler. Bear Umber's great. Actually, I should put that in my... I was just going through my bear deck. I have it in Spanish in my bear deck. Put it in the English version. Because when I tried to buy it, it was much cheaper to get it in another language. Rishkar's Expertise is a classic one. Good to see that one. Shamanic Revelation, Soul's Majesty, Storybreaker Behemoth. Oh, they're slippery. Decimate. Here's one that people aren't playing as much anymore because you have to have the targets. But, I mean, when you do hit with it, destroy artifact, creature, enchantment, and land. Pretty awesome. Oh, Ulashed. I have an Ulashed deck. I don't think I've made a video for it yet, but maybe one day I will. Classic Commander. From the old Ravnica days, I think. Black Blade Reforged, Born Horde, Sword of Vengeance, Cinderglade, Exotic Orchard, Game Trail, Mossfire Valley, and Mossfire Valley number 2. Oh, they messed that one. Wonder what happened. Wonder if we'll ever find out. And then more mountains. Weird that they had the 3 mountains there in the middle. And a bunch of forests. And oh yeah, you get your thick card version of the commander. And some tokens. And that is that deck. Is everybody enjoying Kamigawa Neon Dynasty? I think the draft has been fantastic. And I'm digging the flavor on these commander cards so far. This is the upgrade. Oh no, this is the buckle up. There's a card in here that is like really super valuable in Legacy, I just learned. So I'll point that out when we get there. Box, you got the stuff in there. I don't know where to put all this stuff. Such a professional here. See how much I keep my desk, my playing surface clear here. Good reminder on YouTube, you can double tap to skip. When things are taking too long. We got Kotori, Pilot Prodigy. Vehicles you control have crew 2. See? Kotori can drive anything. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gains a lifelink and vigilance. So it's going to buff up your vehicles as well. And look, is that a weird... Put that in the corner of this. Is that some weird foil damage? Huh. Very bizarre. Shurikai, Genesis Engine. This is a really cool one too. You can draw cards. Put that on the command zone. Imperial Recovery Unit. These should all be stuff that's in the main set. Reprinted Armed and Armored, unfortunately. I had gotten a bunch of those hoping that that dwarf equipment would be a thing. Generous Gift is not always nice to see as a reprint. Mirrorsmith. I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, lets you make mirror. Swords to Plowshares. That's always a welcome reprint. Reality Shift. Riddlesmith, Thoughtcast, Vidalcan Engineer, Whirler Rogue, Arcanist Owl, Wrath Capuchin, Ship's Mage, Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet. These are good. I already have tons of them from having a nice original Ravnica collection, but not everyone does. Ooh, Felwar Stone. That's a much needed reprint also. Foundry Inspector's Great, Gold Mirror, Raider's Carve. They couldn't like go back and get, to Kaladesh at least with some of these vehicles. All right, Aerial Surveyor, Drum Bellower. Huh, flying. Untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. That's great. Iron Soul Enforcer. I think this is some of the new stuff here. When it, or commander you control attacks, return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. So it's like a better Sun Titan in a lot of ways. We've got this board wipe. It's fine. Improvised. Destroys non-artifact creatures. Good in the right deck there. Release to memory. Exile target opponent's graveyard. For each creature card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Graveyard hate's always good, but like, I don't know. Could this be 2 mana? Like, it's an opponent's graveyard. You don't have total control over it. Swift Reconfiguration. Flash. Enchant creature or vehicle. Enchanted permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5, and it loses all other card types. Okay. So kind of could be removal. It's the right deck. Counter target spell. Create X Thopters. Cyberdrive Awakener. Flying. Other artifact creatures you control have flying. Nice. When it enters the battlefield until end of turn, each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4. Nice. And they're all going to be flying too. That's a house. That could be like the, Craterhoof Behemoth of this style of deck. Imposter Mech. You may have Imposter Mech enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it's a vehicle artifact with crew 3. It loses all other card types. Here it is. This is the one that's apparently got something going in Legacy. Very hard to get on Magic Online anyway. It's a 4/4 Improvise, which means it probably won't cost 6 in a deck with lots of enchantments. And it is Ward 4, so very hard to kill. And whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on Kappa Cannoneer, so that counts itself. So really it's a 5/5, and it can't be blocked this turn. So, yeah, it just sits out as you cast more artifacts, and it gets bigger. Then we got a legendary here, Katsumasa the Animator. 3/3 flyer for 4, and for 3 until end of turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature and gains flying. If it's not a vehicle, it's a 1/1 base power. So, really want to play it with vehicles, I guess. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter of each of up to 3 target non-creature artifacts. Well, I guess then it'll start buffing up the stuff, and then maybe it'll be worth 3 to animate it. Research Thief. 3/3 flash flying. Whenever an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Great. Gotta love the card draw. One more than Toski, though, and a lot more restrictions. But this was blue. Universal Surveillance. Improvise, draw X cards. Definitely better versions of that spell out there. Surge Hacker Mech. I think we're getting into stuff that it's already out there. Indomitable Archangel. They gave you a Parhelion. That's cool. That's definitely one you would put in the deck if you didn't have it. Shram is great. Notice who's on my playmat here. Emery is great. I mean, there's some good cards in here. It's too bad they're not like the most valuable cards. I think partly is because they keep printing the blue-white cards in every set here. Mirage Mirror is a great one. Here's some of the Kaladesh vehicles. Sky Sovereign, Smuggler's Copter. Got the Weatherlight, that's a good one. Exotic Orchard, Port Town. Okay. Prairie Stream, Sky Cloud Expand, Spire of Industry. No, that's not the artifact. There's some good artifact-based lands you would probably have to upgrade with. And a bunch of lands and a bunch of tokens. Okay. Well, if anybody stuck around this long, let's crack open the Secret Lair. Secret Life? Extra Life Secret Lair. Extra Life 2021, I should say. Conveniently arriving in February of 2022. Such is the speed with which they send these things out. Thank you for being a part of Secret Lair, it says. Inside the box. Ooh. This box. Inside this box is a box. Inside this box, here we go. So the concept of this was they had kids draw the cards, and then they had artists do renderings from the kids' drawings. So we've got Magali Villeneuve, great artist, doing a Mull Drifter. Right on top. Mull Drifter, Popper All-Star. Still super playable and lots of commander builds. So, okay, there's the original kid drawing. And there's Magali's interpretation. And then we got Lars Grant West, age 52, doing an interpretation of Kira, age 5.5. It's Crater Hoof Behemoth. This is the real reason I got this. I actually don't have any Crater Hoof Behemoths. It's a pretty cheap way to get one. And we've got Metalwork Colossus. Chris Ron, age 36, doing a version of Hyun Tran's age 6. Which is cool, actually. I like Hyun's kind of rainbowy design. And then we get Questing Feldegriff, drawn by Dmitry Burmak, age 39. Questing Feldegriff, of course, is a takeoff on the card from, I believe, is Alliances, that is now on the reserve list and hard to get. The legendary Feldegriff. And there is Mark Rosewater, age 53 3/4. Oh, Mark, you're hilarious. Didn't even give it any color, Mark. I wonder how long that took Mark to make. So that is today's box opening. If you like this kind of thing, let me know. Leave a comment. leave a thumbs up, and tell me what you would like to see me open. And if it is within my budget, I will consider it at least. So anyways, thanks for joining me here in the attic. I've been Manadad. Remember, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.